Hello and welcome to Five. Now, Five is a low-code development environment that helps developers rapidly build and deploy business applications. Currently, what you're seeing on your screen is a development environment that Five gives you whenever you want to build an application on it. On top, you can see that we have a bunch of menus. We have visual, logic, data, tasks, setup, and tools. If I click on visual, you can see it has a bunch of features. For example, it gives you the ability to create forms, charts, data view, dashboards, reports, menus. For example, if you click on data and the database modeler, then Five presents you your entire database right in front of you. Now, this is just not a simple UML diagram, it's a visual database modeler. That means here you can make any changes to your database right over here. You want to change a field, simply double click on that and Five will pop up all of its details. Similarly, you can add fields by clicking on this Add Fields button. And similarly, you can add tables as well. And this is not just the only way to create tables. We have various others way. Example, the table wizard is the fastest way. So let me quickly run the application now and show you what kind of applications can be made with Five. An application can be run by clicking on this run button over here. And then from the spinner icon, you can see that Five starts loading up a local application in your machine. So currently what you're seeing is a login screen for a property finder application. In this application, we'll have two roles. We'll have customers and we have managers. Let me quickly log in as a customer. So customers are first greeted with this landing page, and now they can make a booking request to any particular property that they would like to inspect. For example, if I click here on this lookup, we select one property. Let me quickly type in my name. And as soon as I do that, my form expands and I get to select my booking time. So it's a pretty dynamic form. As you can see now, I can select my method of contact. If I select email, I can type in my email. There's also email validation. As you can see, the text turns red. And now when I'm done with my form, I can click on submit and now these records are sent to managers. So let me quickly log in as a manager inside the same app. So when I log in as an administrator or a manager, you can see my application looks a little different. First things first, we get a notification that the customer has made a booking request. So now they can click on the management menu and they can look at data sets where we have charts and custom reports, dashboards. They can send down confirmation email to each customer about that the property has been approved. Then, of course, we have many other things in this application. For example, if I click on suburbs, here we have a list of suburbs with their rating. For example, if let's click on Bologna, which is 5-star, and now you can see we have a list of these properties. And if I click on view properties, we can view them as well. A lot of things inside this application, but let me just quickly go back to the development environment. Okay, so a couple of more things. Now Five gives you the ability to create functions. So if you click on logic and then code editor, and let's say if we open up a code over here, a function, you see Five opens up this code editor, which was very similar to VS Code. And you have feel free to write any vanilla JavaScript, and you can use Five's API to do, basically you can use the API to communicate with your application. Now, of course, if you use your OpenAI key, then Five can also explain the entire code and also debug your code for you. Next, of course, since we can write tables, it's probably not a surprise that we can also build SQL queries right inside Five. For example, if I pull up one of the query, let's say if you want to make one, then Five opens up this workbench similar to any SQL editor. So you can feel free to type the queries of your choice here. So if I do select start from customer, I can simply run it over here and see my results. One thing I should highlight over here is that if you do not wish to write SQL, then inside Five basically you can build your SQL queries, but visually. For example, if I click add table here, let's quickly select the customer and the property table. And let's select the customer name, booking time, and the address. Now we click on run and we get the results right over here. And one last thing is that anything that you do inside the Visual Designer can be converted right back into SQL. And anything that you do inside the SQL can be converted right back into Designer. Five also gives you a bunch of tools that you can use to actually start maintaining your application. You have code analyzer, code search, form code, audit trail, and user audit trail. Apart from that, Five can also run in a debug mode, which is called that inspect. As you can see, I'm inside the same application, but now I get access to this built-in debugger, which can show your logs, execution tree queries, and the environment variables that your application is creating. So let me just quickly run this, fill up this form and show you how it works. So whenever we fill up this form and we click on the submit button on the top, we just run a simple JavaScript function that we built in our code editor. for this application. So now if I click on submit, if I go to execution tree, and if I click on submit, 5 immediately tells me that the function was called. If I click on that, 5 opens up that entire function. I can see what variables were being passed into it and any other what execution log that this function was doing. Now there are a ton of more things that I can talk about over here, but the best way to learn 5 and to enjoy 5 is through actually using it yourself. So what I would suggest is hop onto our website at https:5.co, sign up and download 5 completely for free. Everything that you saw today was done on the free version of 5. So if you liked today's video, make sure to like and subscribe for future content. Until then, thank you all very much and see you all again very, very soon.